So many things has happened in the last week. Even last month, the whole month, it's been just a crazy month of just joy after joy after joy. Right? You got to live from glory to glory to glory. And just so many things. I had a memorial. Some of you attended it, and my sister from England, my family from England, and they all came, and the children connected. It's so important for the next generation to connect. I just feel very strongly that children, like children, God made children, right? And when Adam was made, he was made an adult, and everything fell apart. I think God, like when Jesus came, he came as a child. Something happens, when you come as a child. Like, it's so important to take care of children. So when I saw those children playing together and connecting, and they're missing each other after they'd gone home to England, like, I just feel they're so precious. Children are so precious. So because of that, we're thinking of starting a children's ministry next door, so that people with kids, they can have their children come and go next door. Apple's volunteered to be one of the people to take care of kids, right? We're going to ask for volunteers later. And so then we can connect a screen next door, and you can actually watch from next door as well. But, before I start, I just want to show you some of the things that's happening in India. I just feel like, from glory to glory to glory, right? So I'll just get Joyce to put it on the board there. And then I explain to you. Yeah, these are pictures of people that came to Christ. You know why? The students that just graduated from Graceville Theological and Seminary School, college, after they graduated, they went out. They were sent because they understood the message of kingdom. Been working with them for 2 years. Every week I would just talk to them 3, 4, 5 hours. Every Monday, Tuesday. And my Monday and Tuesday nights, like, I don't have a chance to go out without them calling. Like, if they call, I drop everything, right? Just talk to them and just continue to sow into them. And so when they graduated, they went out and they had people. They preached kingdom. They tell them about the kingdom. And people came and people got baptized. They came to the Lord. You don't need to just go around and say you're going to go to hell if you don't come to Jesus. There's no such thing. Okay? You just tell them about the kingdom. And people get attracted to the kingdom. The way Jesus said, the kingdom of God is like this. You throw a net down, the fish will come in. It's not like you go fishing, trying to catch a fish. No, the fish comes to you. And so, really important to see some of this, like they're teaching, and if you can see the whiteboard, actually, you can't really see it, but actually, it's, like one of the whiteboards says Kingdom of God. And so they're teaching people and preaching about the Kingdom of God. And these are all new graduates, they just graduated. Like, some of them started children's ministry, some of them started church, they planted, they went everywhere. And, there's Pastor Melson, our main guy, that's just talking to me nonstop, right? Kingdom, kingdom, kingdom. So, like, these people are just on fire. Look at their faces. They're like, I want to know more, right? Let's see next slide. So happy, It didn't matter. When you look at that picture, it's not about the place. They find a place, they gather, they come and they learn about kingdom. Here we're trying to build bigger and bigger places, right? Last night I was sitting with Apostle Tim, and he said, ministry starts on the street and dies in the cathedral. That hit me when he spoke that to me, He's an apostle, my spiritual dad, so to say, And he knows he's got ministry like 100 times or even 200 times bigger than what we planted in India. And he's about to pass the baton. You get what I'm saying? There's something big is about to happen. Right? And so this week I'm going to teach about kingdom leadership. And continue to teach about kingdom so that you understand. And I'll use real examples. It's pointless for me to stand here and not give you real examples what's going on, right? Next slide, let's go. They not only have school in the theological school, but they also have like Zoom. People are coming from all over India and just signing up, because they get excited about kingdom. Come on in. And then next slide. Next. Do you have that slide on who, when, where? Yeah, let's get there. So these are the graduates that graduate. Lashmi, she's starting a children's ministry in Vemagal. I don't even know where that is, but it's in a house. I'm encouraging you guys. If you sit here every week and collect seeds, soon you'll be weighed down by the seeds. You got to start planting them. Are you following me? You got to stop. I don't care. You know what? Yesterday, me and Apostle Tim, we sat down and we said this to each other. We look at each other and we said this. The church got to be a house church. It can't be a cathedral church anymore. The Acts church was in the house. And that's how God prospered them. Because it was intentional. People getting to know each other. We're small like this. We know each other. We love on each other. When you become big and huge, it's all about programs. Right? I'm going to stand. Yeah. Director, I'm off from the camera. Naveen, you can read on and on. If you like to know, Joyce, just go on 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Santosh, boom. Diwaka, boom. AJ, Lashmi, Kalel, Arun. These are all graduates and they are planting. They're going to villages and they're planting churches. They're not looking for a church to plant a church. They're looking for villages. And they just go into their homes. And I told them one thing, bring bread. Bring some naan. Break some naan. Break bread. That's how you break bread. And you become close, right? And that's what they did. And this is the result. I just wanted to share some of this so that you guys get excited, And so one more thing today, I had a privilege of meeting one of the top First Nation leaders. And she came in here to do deliverance at 12:30, right? She's gone. And you know how? It's so powerful, message of the kingdom. She just sat there and she listened to me telling about kingdom. My usual. I'm telling you there's a king, and then she goes, I've read the New Testament 14 times. I've never heard it like that. Even as you're speaking kingdom, I'm releasing all, come on in. All these things are going away. All the hurt is leaving. So we did deliverance. And she comes here 1 week a month, and she wants to come here. She wants to come to our Bible study in the fall because of the message of the kingdom. It's not a religion. No one wants to hear your religion. There's too many religions in the world. Okay. All right. We're good? I want to talk about the company that I started today, a little bit. And how God put in my heart to start a company many, many years ago. I came down with kidney stone and, and then it was painful. And then I was like, 1980 something, they cut you open, right? Today they have all kinds of technology, zap you and the stone's gone, right? And those days they cut you open, so I didn't want to go under the knife. So I actually called my friend who was in the natural health industry in California. And I said, Kim, do you have anything that can help me? He said, oh, of course, easy. Go to your ethnic market, get yourself a pound of parsley, 1 pound of parsley, and 1 cut of turmeric, yellow ginger. Juice it, 1 part juice, 1 part water, drink it for 3 days. I said, you're kidding me, right? What kind of hocus pocus is this? He says, no. He said, just do it. So I did it. Day and a half, I passed the stone out. And then that revelation came and I said, why is it that not more people know about this? Then I started getting into it and I realized that there are people doing supplements, but they're charging an exorbitant price, like 5,000% markup, that kind of thing. How's anyone going to get healthy except for the rich? So I went out and I started. And you know what I did? What I did was I became a solution. I had the serious problem, but I realized that if you stop there and don't become the solution, then it dies with you. And the pain continues, people still go under the knife, nobody knows anything about natural supplement, right? So I started that. But for years, why am I telling you this story? For years, you grow, and those of you in business today, listen carefully. You grow, and then you hit a certain mark, and then you get stagnated. Okay? And then after a while, you start to grow again. You figure it out, and you start to grow again. And then you get stagnated again. So it's like exponential. Doom, woo, doom, woo, like this, right? It's never like this. How come? How come? Right? Today we want to understand why. Why did I experience that? Right? And you will. If you're in business, you will be experiencing that. See, when we get into business, especially when, like me, I went to business school, you're indoctrinated with the way how business should be done. Okay? You start with the school thinking, right? And that's all you know. So for years, I was stagnated. For 10 years, I was stagnated. Until we did something different. And today, I want to teach you what we did different. So what we did was, we came to understand of the Lordship of Jesus. I'm going to tell you straight up right now in biblical language, right? Christianese, if there's such a thing. But all it is we understood the Lordship of Jesus means we understood the ownership of God. God owns everything. Once we start to understand that, we have new revelation on how to handle things, right? So what we did was we start to understand clearly that the king, we have a king in the kingdom, right? He owns everything. See, the king had entrusted us with people to raise up as leaders to distribute his resources. Are you following me? The king had entrusted us with people to raise up as leaders to distribute resources. Now, a lot of people, when they get into business, they're thinking it's their business, it's their resource, it's their things. People are just coming in, you just hire them. Oh yeah, just use them to do this, and then let them go. I can tell you something, if you take away all those people, what do you have? Zero. In fact, you should take yourself away too. Because you don't belong to yourself. You belong to the king. When you don't see that, it's called abuse. Abuse comes from a word called abnormal use. Take away the normal is abuse. Okay? Abnormal use of what God has given you to use properly. Right? So when we understood that, it became a huge responsibility. When you understand that you have to care for people rather than care for supplements, you just care about your pocket, you can forget about that. Okay? The pocket has hit the plateau. It's going like this. Good thing we had that self-reflection to go, what is going wrong here? What is happening? Why are we not growing anymore? Right? And then when we discovered that we have a huge responsibility, right? Because those who are here in our care are leaders who are leaders, right? And will be leaders, and we have to pay attention to them. How do you do that? How do you bring that leadership out of that person? You know? Like Jesus never went around and he just said, oh, this world's beautiful. He came here, like the mountains, the fish and the birds. No, he went and seek out 12 guys. Because he knew that he had to pass the baton to those 12 guys. I told Pastor Josh earlier, I said, in a race, it's never about how fast you run. It's how well you pass the baton. You drop the baton, the race is over. I don't care if you're the fastest guy. Who's the fastest guy today? I don't know who's the fastest. Who's the fastest guy? 100-meter dash.
Joyce.
Joyce! Okay, Joyce.
In the spirit.
I don't know, right? I'm out of touch with all these Olympians. Usain Bolt, bolting away. You can bolt as fast as you can. You drop the baton, game over. You're out. A child like Matteo can outrun you. if he passes the baton correctly. Are you following me? Huge, right? So when we knew that when God put people under our care and entrusted with He has entrusted them to us. So who are they? They are God's personal property. Because God owns you. You know how huge a responsibility that is? God has given you His personal property to care for. Next time when you look at your worker, understand that they are the personal property of God given for you to care for. We need to see the true intent of God, right? His will is to raise up kings, small k. He is the King of kings. So these are all kings. You're all kings. You have to be raised up. And how do you then draw out that skill? Every one of you has been deposited with skills. Every one of you has been deposited with a calling in your life. Like, do you ever notice how you can do things other people can't do? Like, you may have gone to school like me, all kinds of degrees, right? Double major, master's, PhD, whatever. And then at the end of the day, you're like, hey, how come I can do this that I didn't go to school for? And right? You need to discover that. How is it that you can become the solution to a problem when no one could see it? How is it that Elon Musk can be a solution to cars? Well, now somebody else is having a car that flies. He got the proof apparently. So Elon's got to work faster, right? Figure out how to get his cars to fly. So we need to see the true intent of God, right? To raise leaders in this physical realm of the kingdom of God. That's a true intent. Why? The invisible kingdom to the visible kingdom, right? Remember I explained to you guys? In heaven, on earth as it is in heaven, right? So how do you do that? You're raising up people. Why? Dominion was given to people. Why is dominion given to people? Why is authority given to people? So that they can be leaders in their realm. Now, the one thing you got to understand is this. Once you understand that, you need to understand that you cannot control or manipulate people. I don't care in whatever situation you're in. You cannot control or manipulate people. Why? Because dominion was given to man and women to dominate fish, birds, and things that crawl and things that grow. Nowhere in the Bible it says you have to dominate another person. This broken world is about dominating people. I get ahead, this guy can do whatever, go to East Hastings. I drove my sister in East Hastings, I brought her. Stop looking at all this beautiful Whistler. And say, I want you to take you to the real stuff. I took her down, she almost cried. A war zone. She said, I can't look at that. I said, no, look. That's the apostle in me, right? Look. Look at the woman bend over like this. Catatonic, bend over for hours. I asked her, I said, would you like to see that person like that? Or would you like to see her successful somewhere? Thriving, not struggling and striving. Check our heart. Like we got to drive around East Hastings once in a while and go, why am I fighting with this person? Right? I don't care who you're fighting with right now. In your mind, you want to send them to East Hastings. Finish. Right? I don't want to deal with you. Some people say you can go to HELL. Isn't it? That phrase? You can go to HELL. Love on them. Right? Better they're successful than they're failing. So, understand that you cannot control or manipulate people. Why? Because when you do that, you will violate the kingdom law of lordship. That means you have now disrespected the king because that's his personal property. You're trying to manipulate his personal property, right? But that's just a person. Yeah, that's a personal property of God. When we don't understand the concept of kingdom, which I'm always teaching, we end up trying to dominate others to get ahead. Trying to dominate other people to get ahead. Next time, when you get out of here, I don't care how small it is. Like the moment you find, whoever with your spouse or whatever, you're trying to dominate. Remember today's sermon. Let me propose to you that you can't get ahead of God. If you're trying to get ahead of somebody, you're trying to tell God, I'm going to get ahead of you. You cannot do that. Right? So, why? Because when you try to get ahead of His creation, you're trying to dictate the timing and the lordship to God. You're telling Him, no, this person is not good enough. Wait, he's good enough because he was made by God. Or she was made by God, right? So, what happened? Go back to the company. I've been talking. But let's get back to the company. So, we set out to carry out the will of the Father. That's what we did. Right? Our goal became to raise up powerful people to be leaders by relinquishing control ourselves. That's a big, long sentence. Basically, raising up people to be powerful people by us backing off and letting them make decisions. You ever find that? If you're the only game in town, everybody has to go to you to make decision, you're in trouble. You're basically in trouble. Okay? You have not raised up any leaders. You may think you're the leader because everybody's coming to you. No, you're actually not a leader. You're not a leader. Next week, we'll talk more about that. So you need, a real leader basically needs to share power. You need to share power. You need to teach, you need to impart, and then you need to disappear. Oh yeah. After Jesus taught them for 3 years, He disappeared. He said to them, I got to go. If I don't go, it's not good for you. Imagine if Jesus is still walking on earth. I mean, He could live forever. He walk on earth, right? Everybody will be going, Jesus, what should we do? We have a salmon problem. Jesus, we have forestry problem. Huh? What? Remember when they were coming to Him, He says, what's wrong you guys? I'm just paraphrasing. What's wrong you guys? Do I have to stay here and, whatever, why don't you get it, So, God and Adam. An example. God had to relinquish control to Adam. Right? Adam, don't eat from this tree. Can't do any. He can't do it. God couldn't do anything anymore because He says, I gave you authority to choose to eat or not to eat. He's given him the authority. So he has to back off. He's relinquished his control. But here's the thing. Adam couldn't relinquish his control of not eating from that tree. He wanted to control his destiny. Why? Because the serpent came and said, hey, you're not going to die. You're going to be like God. You're going to be able to tell the difference between right and wrong, good and evil, right? So eat it. Eat it. So he ate it. So at the company, we were raising up people to be leaders by decentralizing authority. God did that. God gave authority to Adam to raise him up as a leader. You cannot be a leader if you have no authority to do anything. You know what I'm saying? If I give you $5, or maybe it's more than $5 now, toilet tissues is how much? What? $20 maybe? And I don't tell you that you have the authority to choose. I mean, you be on your phone calling me 10 times. Hey, Tom, is it the blue one or the red one? Is it 1 ply or 3 ply? Is it the one with the shaman, with the bear? And it's like, we will be yelling at each other after a while. Isn't that what happens at work most of the time? People are yelling at each other, right? Because no one has given you a decentralized authority. That means you are able to make that decision. Learn from the best leader ever, God. God gave Adam leadership. He could make decisions, right? And why is that? We're going to learn a little bit about decision in a while. Right? God was raising up Adam to be a leader. And eventually, Adam was to raise up other leaders, his children. Right? That is the extension of the invisible kingdom, heaven, into the visible earth. So, at work, at the company, we knew our work was cut out for us. We had to have a discussion. We have to rethink, reimagine. You know, when you hit like this, you have to reimagine. What is going on here, right? So, I said our work was cut out for us. Pay attention to that. It's not our job, our work. Job is when you go and get money. Work is how you progress towards your destiny of raising up leaders. Work, take that down. Your work is to raise up leaders. Your job is to go and get money. So don't tell people, I work for this, I work for this. No, you don't work. You're doing, your job is at the pharmacy. I don't see free out here today. But, but when you don't understand that your work is to raise up leaders, you're running from job to job to job to job. You see that? I'm hitting a nerve. Everybody's so quiet. So we knew that. We knew we were supposed to work or manage by creating an ecology of people connecting with people. Okay? You need to connect people. We're going to talk about connection here. You cannot disconnect. You need to connect people. The enemy has been trying to disconnect with COVID, with all kinds of things. Disconnect. Isn't it wonderful when you can connect? You want to sit home and Zoom? Yeah, you can Zoom, but there's something missing. Humans are meant to connect. That's why God said to Adam, He said, God said to the Trinity, He said, it's not good for the man to be alone. That's right. He's disconnected. He couldn't find a helper. He's totally disconnected. Right? So, we were supposed to create an ecology of people connecting with people spiritually, emotionally, and physically at the company. The key word here is, write this down, connecting. Connecting. So what does it look like to connect? What does it look like to connect? To connect is a choice one has to make. To connect is a choice that you have to make. I cannot make you connect. Right? If I was standing here and say, hey guys, go out there and go grab somebody, bring them to church. I'm trying to make you connect. No, it's your choice. You're given a choice by God to do that. You want to do it, don't want to do it, it's your choice. I can't force you. Remember, you can't control or manipulate people. Right? You can do that for a while and your church grows. Like last night we were talking and then the apostle was telling me this church has grown to 400 or 500 people. And I asked a simple question, are they preaching kingdom? Remember, ministry starts on the streets, dies in the cathedral. Choosing to connect is not an easy thing to do, right? But it is a powerful thing to do. You need to choose to connect. Most people grow up with parents that act powerlessly. No power in disconnecting, right? It's sad, but it's true. I'm going to give you an example. What do I mean by it? Mom and dad said to the child, oh, you better do your homework or else. I heard that before growing up. You better do your, and then the finger. I don't even know why that finger has to point at you. You better do your homework or else. Or else. There's an or else. Yeah. Or you better do all the dishes. Otherwise, you will have an earful from your mom. Oh, right? Somebody will say that to you. Your dad will say that to you. And then dad will say that to the kids about their dad. Mom will say that to the kids about their dad. Or you have an earful from your dad. Or here's another one. How many times do I have to tell you? I'm sure all of us grew up hearing that. Is there a prescribed number of times? It's like, how many times do I have to tell you? I don't know, 50? 100? Huh. And then I teach you guys about FOG over here, right? Fear, obligation, and guilt. They use that all the time. They put you into fear, right? Fear to do things, obligate you to do things. I cook all this and you don't want to eat. Well, I just had dinner at the office. But I took all day to cook for you. Or guilt you to manipulate. All these things are powerless, and they are used to manipulate. Why? They want to control. They want to control, right? And manipulation is the beginning of witchcraft, I tell you guys. Now, most of us grow up with that fear instilled in us. Fear of failure, right? Fear of disappointment. You can trace any sort of powerless act. You know that when people become powerless, start to blame and all that, you can trace it back to fear. Every one of them. Fear of disappointment, fear of being not accepted. And then we as parents, we do it so well, we forget. Like, we don't even know that we're doing it. It's like second nature. You're not going to eat that, You're going to get trouble with your dad. Why? We're not even aware anymore. But here's the sad part. Whatever happens at home to our children, eventually they'll bring it to work. Eventually they'll bring it to their homes when they get married. Eventually they'll bring it to their workplace or their church or to wherever they go. So after a while, people get good at disconnecting because of fear. We say things like this, "Oh, I'll try." You ever hear that? You call your friends, "Hey, I got this big, I'll try." Phrases like that is to disconnect. They actually can come, but they say, "Oh, I'll try." "Oh, I've got to go to this place, sorry." Somebody, no name, somebody asked me the other day, "Is it okay to have a white lie?" And I said, "No." Why would you do that? Because that's disconnecting. That's disconnecting. Or I can't make it because I've got to deliver this parcel to my friend's house, or, we create barriers to disconnect. I can't do that, it's too hard, oh no, that's not for me. These phrases are signs of powerless mindset revealed in powerless language. Powerless. Now, the reality is we disconnect because we live in a reality of fear. We fear, So what's the truth? If that's a lie, what's the truth? We're going to need to read from the word of the King. 2 Timothy 1:7. 2 Timothy 1:7. And you need to internalize this verse. Like, write it down somewhere, put it down somewhere, put it on your forehead. When you look in the mirror, you see it. Reverse, right? For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of sound mind. Today, I just told a lady that came for deliverance, I used the same verse. I say, why are you operating in fear? It wasn't given to you. How many of you know fear is a spirit? As if for you have not given a spirit of fear. So when we allow that spirit to invade our minds, we can sometimes get overwhelmed with fear. So much so we feel powerless to take responsibility for any action. We don't want any responsibility. We will wait upon someone else to make a choice for us. You've been in that situation. People ask you, "Hey, what do you want to have for dinner?" "I don't know." "What do you want to have?" Hey, catch yourself saying that? That's powerless. Make a choice. In life, make a choice. Right or wrong choice, make a choice. No one should blame Adam. He made the wrong choice. All right? Stop blaming, because Adam is the first personal property of God, and we all resided in him. We all seeds from him. You blame him, you blame yourself. How do you like that? Yeah. So we get overwhelmed with fear. We act powerlessly. And we don't want to take responsibility. Here's another example. Girls know this. They know it too well. They go shopping and they drag a friend. Yeah. You bring a friend. And then you put on this dress. You went to Gucci or I don't know where, Louis Vuitton, whatever. And you come out and say, hey, what do you think of this? Yeah? You see, you're all laughing. And then your friend will go, I don't like it. Doesn't look good on you. But in your hearts of hearts, you wanted it. But your friend said, no, it's not nice. And he took it off. What do you think of this? And then, I like that. And then you bought it. And then you're not happy. How many of those bags are sitting in your closet? You never use it. The dresses you hang, you don't use it. Because your friends chose it for you. You didn't choose. You did not make a choice. You need to make a choice. Rightly or wrongly, I don't care. You look like a clown, you make a choice. Yeah, you dress like a clown, you go to the wedding. It's your choice. It's okay. Right? Oh, yeah. Man, does that make sense to you? Amen. See, what happens is when somebody makes that choice for you and you don't make a choice, you will go into blame. Eve made the choice. Adam did not want to, he knew that was wrong. By the way, that's another thing. That's the whole thing. Another revelation is, I just sidetrack here. Do you know that all the instructions were given to Adam? Adam is the rock of the family, the man. Man, all wake up, okay? Stop slouching now. Wake up. You're the man. You are the foundation in the family. All instructions were given to Adam. None of it was given to Eve. That's why when they fell, God was looking for Adam. Now here's a revelation. Eve saw the fruit. Snake told her it's good. Oh, the tree looks nice and the fruit looks delicious. She took a bite. She touched it first. You have to touch it to pick it, right? And God said what? Not to touch of the tree. She touched it, nothing happened. She ate it, nothing happened. Oh, yeah. You ever notice that? And then she walked and she gave it to Adam, nothing was still happening until Adam took the first bite. Adam was the foundation. All responsibility was on him. He took the first bite, and read your Bible, it says suddenly. Oh, Eve took the bite, Eve walked around, danced around, said this tastes good. There was no suddenly. It was okay. Until the foundation touched it. Crack. Finito. Suddenly, they saw themselves naked. That's another day. Anyways, today we're talking about leadership. Now, we'll talk about power outage for Adam and Eve. You know, when they took of the fruit, they disobeyed God, right? They lost their authority. Once you lose the authority to call power, you have no more power. You have no more power, you have no more kingdom. Are you following me? Right? If you're a king without authority in a kingdom, you have no kingdom. You have no domain. Like if you bought a house and your house does not have your name on the title, you paid for it, you have no kingdom. You have no access to that land. You have to go to your husband because his name is on the land. You get what I'm saying? This is all about kingdom, about territory. It makes sense, you know. It's not some religious stuff. Forget about that. Okay, so what happens when you have a power outage in your home? Darkness, right? I know it too well. That's why I got solar. Darkness. Darkness. The spirit of fear, by the way, operates and thrives in darkness. The moment you operate in darkness, he loves that. He loves that. That's what happened to Adam. The spirit of fear fell on him and invaded his mind when he was cut off from power. He was fearful, helpless, without authority, hence without power. He lost his sense of purpose. A king with no territory will feel very dejected. Like, what kind of king are you? Wait, are you king of where? Oh, no country, no territory. You're no king, dejected. Right? He lost his vision. He became chaotic, and hence the blame game started. The moment he ate, suddenly, right? That suddenly, he's like, and then God came, and then he's like, Adam, where are you? He says, I'm hiding. Why are you hiding? Because I'm naked. Who told you you're naked? Right? He felt fear. He was disconnected. He became chaotic, and then he blamed God. The woman you gave me. The woman you gave me. Made me eat. Whoa, double blame. Blame the girl and blame the guy that made the girl. I love that. Fell into that. So he blamed God, blamed Eve for his own action. No one twisted his arm. No one. Not in the Bible. He chose to eat. So what happens? He switched allegiance from God to Satan when he obeyed Satan and ate. How many know that when you disobey God, you obeyed someone else? Right? If you disobeyed God, you have obeyed either yourself or Satan or someone, or snake or snail or whoever, a rock. That's how witchcraft comes about. People have rocks, stones, New Age, whatever. You obeyed that rock. That rock was created by God. How come you're not obeying God? You worship the created rather than the creator. It's a problem. It's a problem. Okay, so when blame starts, when the blame game starts, there will inevitably be three players. I've talked about this many times. I'm going to talk about it again. It's called a triangulation of three characters. Number one, person making the blame, the victim. Today I went through this with the lady, and she totally got delivered, free, set free. So I told her, I said, all I hear is blame. Why? Right? And number two, the person being blamed, which is the bad guy. That guy did this. You find yourself doing that, stop, okay? You're acting powerlessly. My brother did this to me, and they're just saying bad things about me. Oh, you're a poor victim. Because when you do that, you are now creating a bully. Whoever it is, your uncle, auntie, grandfather, grandmother becomes your bully. And they're not leaving you, they're in your circle. And then, whoever you're telling to is going to start rescuing you. Did they really say that to you? I'm going to let them have a piece of my mind. Hey, isn't that what most people do? They get mad at the other person. The person doesn't even know what's going on. You play victim, you blame him, he becomes the bully, and now your friend is the rescuer who's trying to get at him to fix it for you. What? No power in that. No power when you try to control people or manipulate. That's a pure manipulation and control going on here. The triangulation happens in every relationship. I don't care what relationship, what things you're going through. You can use the same thing in there. Identify the bully, identify the victim, identify the rescuer. All three acting powerlessly. No power in that. Why? Because the root of this type of relational dynamics is actually trying to control out of fear. Right? Because you fear. And you're trying to control. Even the victim is trying to control, So, oh, poor victim. No, the victim is actually trying to control. It becomes a skill after a while of controlling people, playing victim. Oh, yes. Oh, how's your day? Oh, not good. My boss is... You ever hear that? Long time ago, no names, but a long time ago, some guy came and told me that he has an addiction to gambling. I sat by the poolside and I told him how much money you want. What? What kind of pastor are you? He said, I told you about, I have a gambling problem and you told me how much money. I said, yeah, how much do you want? You want 50 grand? I'll loan you 50 grand. I'll drive you to the casino. What kind of pastor are you? A kind of pastor will not rescue you. That woke him up. Woke him up. Never rescue anyone. You're not the rescuer. Who is the rescuer? The king. Stop usurping his authority. Don't do that. He's delegated you with authority. Can I tell you something? You can access everything, but nothing belongs to you. So many people think that things belong to them. So hugging it until the day they die. Come naked, go naked. Come with nothing, go with nothing. From ashes to ashes. What are you going to take away? That tree? No, that tree will still be standing for another 100 years. You're gone. That's my tree, Right? You hear that all the time. That's mine. No, not yours. Belongs to the Lord. The spirit of fear always tries to break man from God through fear. Can I tell you that? The spirit of fear uses that. He wants to break you from God. He did that with Adam. He did that with Abraham and Sarah. Oh, yes. Abraham, God promised him the child, the promised child. And then what happened? Sarah said, oh no, this is taking too long. I don't think God really meant it. I told you so. I don't know if she said that. But you know what? You go sleep with the slave girl, Hagar, our Egyptian, make a baby. And Abraham's like, okay. Typical guy, right? Okay, I'm going to make a baby. And then they made a baby. They disconnected themselves. What did they do to disconnect themselves? They try to control. The moment you try to control and manipulate what God tells you to do, you are disconnecting yourself. Okay, so, this triangulation I was telling you, the bully, the rescuer, and the victim, their relational bond is built on mutual control. It cannot produce a safe and loving, trusting environment. Because it's always trying to control, right? You never know what's going to come next. You're walking on eggshells all the time. I've been there. So, what's the solution? Here's the solution. We did it in the company. We're going to share with you. So how do we change powerless people to powerful people? Number one, we create a respectful environment. Okay? Do unto others what you want others to do unto you. Right? That's the principle. I was just teaching the lady today. Promise, prophecy, principle, the how-to. Okay? Powerful people do not try to control people. But you may say, hey, but we don't do that kind of stuff here in our office. How can you say that, right? We don't control people. When I go, one time I was at a leadership course, I was teaching this, and then they said, well, we don't control people. I said, well, really? Can you check your company manual? Go try and check your nursing manual, check all the manuals. We live in a broken world. It's all about control. Check your employee policy. Control, 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 control. Look around in your environment in your office. Control everywhere. Drive down the street. Control everywhere. Take away the street signs, everybody's driving on the curb. Oh yeah. With the street signs, we saw people hitting the curb. Somebody was, Grandma, coming up Grandma, this guy will walk. Just because you have a Tesla doesn't mean you can drive on the curb. Yeah. Powerful people do not try to control people. Remember that. So when you look around your environment and you see physical or mental barriers, They are set up, the system set up to catch people when they fail. You know that? Right? The stop sign is just set up to catch you when you fail. It doesn't catch you when you good. Catch you when you fail. You get a ticket when you run the stop sign, right? Time clock, dividers, all those things. All those things. When we discovered this, we took away everything. I still cry when I look at that time clock. Brand new, just got it. And then we said, no, we're not using this. So when they left the office, I saw 2 time clocks there. And I was telling this guy, do you know that this is a biometric time clock? So what? Like, it was state of the art at that time. Gone. Because here's the thing, as leaders, we don't try to get people to respect us. Okay? Get this right. We get to create a respectful environment. Don't ever say, I have to get to the office. No, you get to go. Because your king allows it. Huh? I have to run now. What? Are you Usain Bolt? You have to run now. No, you get to. You get to compete in the Olympics. Because somebody says so. That person doesn't want you to compete, but tomorrow you have broken legs. It's finished. Yes, I know I'm rude, but sometimes I joke people to bolt you. It makes sense. Corny. Anyways. We don't try to get people to respect. We get to create respectful environment. By how? By showing respect and allowing the freedom for people to be creative and coming up with solutions in the workplace. You have to allow them. How do they become creative? You allow them to make decisions. If you continually make decisions for people, how are they ever going to be creative? How? You're 10 minds there, only your mind is working. You ever find that? Yeah. You sit in the office in a meeting, there's no meeting. Meeting is supposed to be a meeting of minds. You go in a meeting and you dictate everything, there's no meeting of minds. Right? You guys are quiet. You're probably processing. So what do? We deliberately set the standard for how we expect to be treated by the way we treat others. You set that standard. You can create an environment where you allow people to make decisions. Because when they make decisions, they are accountable. You know that? If it's your idea to build a Ferrari, it's your idea, Spencer. It's your idea. It's not my idea. You go ahead and build it. Okay? And when you fail, you go consult Will. You don't consult me because it's not my idea. It's your idea. You get what I'm saying? You get the gist of it. Our great teacher Jesus taught us this. In Luke 6:31 of the NIV, it says, do unto others what you want others to do unto you. So you want to create that environment, you got to do unto others what you want others to do unto you. You need to create that respectful environment. And then the respect will come up. Take notes, when you're starting a company. Otherwise, you run down the same rabbit holes I did for years. We must consistently act in responsible, respectful, and loving ways. Number 2, we need to create a culture of honor. Number two. See? Operate in excellence. We create a culture of honor. Now, I spoke at length a few weeks ago on the culture of honor. I taught you guys that here. Now, how do we do that? We honor people for who they are, created by God to live out their will. That's how we do it. You know how often people honor you because they honor you for what you are? Oh, you're a millionaire? I honor you. Oh, you drive a Ferrari? I like you. I want to be your friend. You stroll in a Honda? I don't know you. I'm not saying this. Right? I'm just saying, that's the broken world. Here, it's not so bad. You go to Asia, they look at your watch. First thing in Hong Kong, I'm sorry. They look at your watch. I'm serious. They look at your watch. You don't have a Rolex. You're no friend of mine. Because they judge you for what you are and not who you are. Man, if you judge Einstein when he was like a kid, I mean, he couldn't read or write or do anything. But one day, all that, thing, that the cooking inside of his brain, all of a sudden, voila, here's a beautiful cake that's been cooking in my oven. Right? Somebody told me the bamboo tree takes how many years to grow? It's like a ridiculous number of years. I don't know, somebody Google it. You find that the bamboo tree takes a long time to come out of the ground. It's cooking in the ground. But when it does come out, believe me, you can't stop it. Hawaii knows that too well. Grown out of control. I would have told them, become the solution, make chopsticks out of them. But they are going, they're playing victim. These people brought these bamboo trees. Now it's taking over our forest. Another time. We honor people for who they are. Why? You want them to live out their will. Right? Not what they do or skill they have. Right? So what we did was we had to look at it as a company and say, how do we do this? Like when hiring, most employers will look at KPI, look at the skill sets, look at the resume and say, this is for whatever. Does he have this? Did he go to school? Blah, 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 blah. Right? The whole thing. But this guy comes in and arrogant as anyone. It's finished. You know that when you get the best player, sometimes NHL team, they get the best player. We got him now. We're going to go to the Stanley Cup now. We got this guy, we pay him $15 million a month. Oh, yeah. He can score 300 goals. I don't know if there's such a thing, but he can score 300 goals. First game, he scored 10 goals. Right? Yeah. And then go home like this. We lost 11-10. No defense. You get what I'm saying? You scored 10, the other team scored 11. You still lose. Because this guy is not a team player. You got to look for a team player. So what do? We search out and we found this book called The Ideal Team Player. And if you're in business, you got to take this down. By Patrick Lencioni. He's a Catholic priest. And he wrote this book called The Ideal Team Player. And in this book, it teaches us to look for attributes of humility, hunger, and people smart. Forget about looking at their resume. Lots of people with the same skill sets, but not everybody is humble, not everyone is hungry, and not everyone is people smart. Now, what does it mean? When you are humble, right, you're willing to listen. You're a team player. The coach tells you, yes, coach, listen, analyze. Right? And when you're hungry, when the coach teaches you those skills, you go out and you use it, and you're hungry, you want to score that goal, you go out and do it. Number 3, you're people smart. You understand. Your team player, your wingman is not at his top of his game. His mother just died. You have empathy. You don't turn around and say, you are the problem. That's why you didn't pass that pass to me. That's why I couldn't score. You had all the chance. Blame. Are you following? Does it make sense to you guys? You need those 3 attributes, those 3 qualities to find the ideal team player. In any company, if you want your father's company to succeed, you look for those 3 attributes. Everyone that you hire, be slow to hire, fast to fire. Slow to hire. People are fast to hire and slow to fire. Wrong. Slow to hire. Look for those 3 attributes. Humility, hunger, and people smart. Once you find those things, then you look at the skill set. Like, okay, well, they could fix a Ferrari. That's good. But are they humble? Right? So Here's an example. I can go on forever in this book, but I'll give you an example. If the person is not humble, but he's very hungry and he's very people smart, he will make a very good politician. Sorry. You get what I'm saying? Oh man, right? He won't be a good leader. So, what does it mean? What does all this thing mean? It means you gotta catch them when they succeed. Don't catch them when they fail. You catch people when they succeed, right? We want to celebrate them and not compare them. You ever notice God doesn't compare, He just celebrates you? Right? You're going to follow God, you got to follow everything. So choose to connect no matter what the situation is. Even when they fail, choose to connect with them. It's easy to connect with people when they succeed. When they fail, you want to disconnect. Don't do that. You connect with them. When you get married, for good or for bad. For rich or for... This guy. Too much. For rich or for poor. Right? Choose to connect. So we honor people for who they are. We created an environment where they can be free to be who they are, created to be by God. And so, because of that, they were able to bring forth their God-given skills and live to the fullest of what their callings are and live out their purpose chosen by God. So what did they do? They brought forth their ideas. They start to bring forth their ideas because we empower them to bring out their ideas. We make them make the decision. We let them do that. Okay? Start making decisions in your life, right? Oh yes, parallel preaching. Now, and then one other thing I want to tell you, when you go into a meeting, when you talk, a meeting of minds, right? Not just your mind, minds. You want to participate in a discussion to understand. Please don't participate in the discussion to make people agree to what you want to do. When you do that, you're trying to control. I win, you lose. No, it has to be a win-win situation. Every time you're trying to make somebody agree to what you decided, that person has to lose, you have to win. That's not a team player. That's one with no humility, lots of hunger, and really knows how to manipulate people. People smart. Right? Oh yeah, this guy is going through these tough times. Easy for me to choose this time to go in there and manipulate, and so I can get my agenda in there. No, wrong. So participate in discussion to understand. Remember I taught you guys about how God always talks about understanding. Like when you understand, right, it's not about, understand rather than agree. When we understand each other's ideas, we can make an informed choice. Then a person with the idea, that came out with the idea, now will also be empowered to be responsible and accountable to their ideas, you see? Responsible and accountable. Accountability basically means account for your ability. Account for your ability. You need to account for your ability. You have abilities. Start making some accounting. Right? When people are free to express their feelings, thoughts, and needs, when you allow them to do that in a respectful and honoring work environment, they feel safe, they become themselves, and fear goes away. When fear goes away, big things happen. They become powerful people. They can actually voice. Do you know why God made Joshua be, he told him not to say anything, to walk around the walls of Jericho? Because he was full of fear. Right? He had to walk around 7 times. By the 7th time, he realized, oh, why am I fearing this? They haven't shot a single arrow at us. Think. Right? Now follow what God says. Shout. Shout. The whole wall came down. So, through these practices, we then teach and guide people to be powerful communicators. From these practices, we teach them to be powerful communicators. How do you do that? when they go into powerlessness by blaming or playing victim, we would ask them a powerful question, a power-based question. You know what the power-based question is? I taught my 2 spiritual kids many times during the podcast. You ask them, what are they going to do about it? If somebody comes to you, oh, this person did this, my husband, let them talk. And then after that, you say, what are you going to do about it? I'm not making a decision for you. What's your decision? Exercise your authority. Why? Because when they exercise their authority, they become accountable and responsible to their decision. Make your decision, right? Oh, okay, so choice is empowering. That's why God gave us a choice. I don't want to talk anymore. It's too much. I think I talked enough. It's so hot in here. But, eventually you will draw out the best in people and lead them to fulfill their dreams when you allow them to make that choice, okay? So please allow people to make that choice. And if the next time you catch yourself going, oh, I don't know, what do you want to eat? I don't know. Make a choice. Oh, you make Japanese choice? Japanese. Make a choice. Because if you continue to, I don't know, you're just looking to disconnect. You know why? When you do really go to that Japanese restaurant, I don't like sushi. It's all Apple's fault. She suggested sushi. You see that? Yeah. It's choosing to disconnect. No, don't do that. Anyways, bless you.